Today I'm riding the Lower Romero Canyon single track in Santa Barbara, California. The trail is about 1.5 mile long with roughly 50 feet of climbing and 1,200 feet of descent. To get there, exit Seffel Drive off 101, follow the East Valley Road, turn left, then take the right into Romero Canyon Road. This is a short but amazing trail. You begin by climbing the fire road, but once you get the junction, the single track starts. The first section is smooth with lots of tight switchbacks. The trail follows beautifully with gentle turns and comfortably rhythm as you settle into the ride. As you continue, the terrain changes. You'll hit rock gardens, steeper pitches, and your first creek crossing. The trail is surrounded by trees and bushes. And in February, everything is green and full of wildflowers. It is a gorgeous time to ride. Be mindful of the cliff on your left. You definitely don't want to slip off the edge. The trail dives deeper into the forest and the canopy closes overhead. The switchbacks here are full of fun and smooth, and even at slower speed, the ride is enjoyable because you can really take in the scenery. The upper section is less rocky but still requires attention. A few sidewalls drop and narrow turns keep things interesting. There's few jumps here and there, and few creeks, some water, not a lot. Soon you'll reach more technical rock sections and the second creek crossing during rainy season. Water flows makes this area trickier. Some lines are rideable if you can carry momentum, but others are easier to walk. The trail gets loose with leaves hiding rocks underneath, so stay alert. The trail gets loose and leaves are flying around. You'll also encounter hikers and dogs. Always slow down, yield, and use bell so you know you're coming. You can see the rocks gardens are crazy here. Easy to tear your derailleur to make sure you don't break your bike. These climbs are pretty simple, but there's some climbs that are really technical. Actually, only one climb that's very technical. You'll see a lot of smooth and flowy trails, but you'll be caught by surprise. The rock garden here and there frequently on the way down. Some of the switchbacks are very sharp and tight, easy to lose off track. These trails are smooth but very narrow. When you're going fast, it's easy to get off the cliff. So make sure you stick your tire on the ground. Like I was saying, There are a lot of hikers on the busy day, but sometimes there's few hikers with a lot of dogs. Just have to be very respectful to them, let them pass by. Just enjoy every moment, every scenery, every terrain. Even the creek crossing are a lot of fun because there's a lot of water during this time. Some of this creek crossing can be done easily with a good momentum and good skill. If you're not good with the rocks, it's easy to tip over. As you can see, it feels like going through the tunnel. A lot of trees and bushes left and right. A lot of few surprising jumps. Some of the jumps are pretty rocky. This rocky section is very technical. You just have to be very careful, especially when you're going fast. Make sure you know your line so it's easier to deal with. Momentum is very important because some of the section, the steep downhill, and suddenly you hit the creek and then you have to climb up. So make sure you have good momentum at that time. This section is really fun, a lot of rocks and drops here. The trail is very slippery because of the leaves, and you'll be caught with surprise. A lot of rock garden that's invisible. It's on and off, smooth, rocky. Nice jumps. One of the toughest part of the trail is steep technical climb with extremely sharp switchbacks. Now you can see here, this section, you just have to make sure you carry your momentum and be able to make that turn. It's really hard to make that turn. Especially larger bikes may struggle to make that turn unless you can pivot or manual to. The exposure on the outside edge means you need to plan your move carefully. Once you clear this section, the trail opens up again with fast, flowy terrain and small drops that becomes big jumps if you hit them at right speed. This section is really technical, especially when you make a turn. The turn is super sharp, so if you can't do it, sometimes you might fall off the edge. This section is pretty flowy with some drops and jumps. The jump just passed by, that you can take it left or you can just hit the big drop there. Here's a nice jump here. You can hit that. Carry your momentum and climb up the creek. This is a good, fast, rocky section. It's kind of with small jumps and drops here. Flowy. And you can see on your left, it's a pretty steep drop there. So make sure you stick to your right. It's very slippery, rocky section. Like you can see, like going through the tunnel of trees. Absolutely mind-boggling in a good way. The jumps and drops might not look too big, but in actual, when you are there, it's pretty technical and scary if you don't hit it right. This section, you can drop this rocky section, or you can go to the left and be safe. If you don't hit this rock right, you might fall because the creek is right after the drop. This creek, there are a lot of boulders here, so just be careful when you cross it. Sometimes you might slip and fall, so make sure you're very careful on this creek section. I'm just going slow so you can watch the corners and details about this trail. This stretch is pretty fun because you're almost close to the end. You only have a few more creek crossing. If you're a fast rider, you can probably get this trail done maybe within 10 minutes. But if you want to take time, you can enjoy the trail. It might take you around like 20 minutes. Now we're almost close to the end. This is flowy, rocky section. You see a lot of gravels here. So when you're making turns, just be careful. This is a sharp corner here. As you near the end, you'll encounter few creek crossing, some wide, some slippery, all fun in their own way. After the last crossing, here the trail stretches into long, fast, steep descent with rock, natural jumps, and multiple line choice. This trail creek crossing is pretty technical, so if you're an expert rider, you shouldn't have any problem. This section is pretty fun. The trail stretches into a long, fast, steep descent with rocks, natural jumps, and multiple line choices. It is one of the most exciting part of the ride. Just remember there is a gate at the bottom, so don't come in too hot. The trail ends at the lower parking area, which can get busy on weekends, but it's usually quiet on weekdays. This is almost to the end. It's a long, wide single-track trail, fast and flowy. And here's the gate. The trail ends at the lower parking area, which can get busy on the weekends but is usually quiet on weekdays. I like to finish my ride by climbing up the road a bit and practicing few wheelies and manuals. Lower parking can be very busy, but this Lower Romero single track trail is such a fun trail, technical, smooth, rocky, and flowy, and full of variety. When you're in Santa Barbara, make sure to enjoy Romero Canyon Trail. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.